Okay, here we go. A worked example of the first exercise that we will try to draw with lines. In reality, we might use a few other tools with more experience, a few other tools, but it is possible to use just lines, and we will draw this V block. Three views. I'm going to choose a first angle projection. So we can imagine the 3D item rolling on the page, never leaving the page or the plane that we're drawing on. So I'm going to produce side view. The top view is going to be below because we roll down to see the top view, and from the side view I'm going to roll over and look at the V. So maybe that's the front view, side view, depends how you look at it, but we will we'll make a start and see how it comes off. So starting from anywhere, I've got my line tool active. I want a line across by 50, and I want a line down by 50, 50, and we'll join at the end. Let's have a look at that. So as my sort of side or front view, however we see it, I'm looking at the slot that goes across this face. So I can use my offset tool. My first offset is 12, and I'm going to take this piece there. I'm going to press the return key to close the tool, return key to restart the tool, new distance 15. And that gives me my total overall distance, 12 and 15, 27, which is the dimension on the drawing. And in fact, this should only be 47 tall, and I've drawn it 50 mil square. So you might recall, select an escape from the tool, select a line, right click and move. So I can move from anywhere, and I'm going to move downwards by 3 millimeters. So that takes my 50 millimeter error, produces 47. I'm going to select that line and select the trim tool. What I did there was pre-select my cutting edges, so now the system is asking me to remove items. That is that. Escape. So 50 by 50 should have been drawn down here. So I'm going to use my offset tool. I'm going to decide there's a 10 mil gap between items, between views. So 10 mil distance down there. So that's the top of my top view. Return. The overall width is 50. And I want that one to be 50 down there. I can draw my line tool, and I can make sure I'm snapping escape and return, snapping onto the ends. And if we think about what we're seeing on this top view, we see the very narrow groove in the bottom, the 3 millimeter wide groove, and we see the edges of the V. So my initial technique might be to draw midpoint line, and that is exactly in the center, and I can use my offset command. 1.5 is half of 3, so I can have that line going up and I can have that line going down. That gives me my 3 mil overall. Return. I need to see the edge of the V, and the width of the V is 35. 35 off 50 is 15, so I need a 7.5 millimeters offset per side. Escape from the tool. I'm going to zoom in. I'm just going to use the delete key, and that is the top view of the V block. Now we've got to draw the more complex view. So let's take an offset, 10 millimeters. That's what we said we would do. That's the start. It is 50 millimeters wide, so we can return 50 and make that 150. I can use a bit of the line tool. I'm going to return to restart the line tool, and I could use E tracking, possibly link up there, but I'm just going to draw from that point to perpendicular. Let's zoom in a little bit. From that point to my perpendicular point, and then I can offset these lines inboard by the 6 millimeters. So offset 6, and this is where that technique offset and trim becomes really quite handy. So what are my trim tools? Well, that's a trim tool, this and this is a trim tool, and I'm going to be removing that and the excess lines. So scissors, trim tool, I want that one, that one, that one, and that one as my cutting edges. Return, I want to remove this piece and this piece. I need to remove these 2 bits of lines and these 2 bits of lines. That's good. I want to remove this line and this line, and actually I need to remove a portion of this line, so I need 2 extra trim edges. So return to close the tool, return to restart the tool, line are my cutting edges, return, trim away that piece and that piece, escape. That looks pretty good. This line is 27 millimeters up from the base, this line here, and the bottom of the V is also 27 millimeters up, so I can use that to construct a line here. Enter to restart the line tool. We know the edge is 7.5. We can type it in. Return 7.5. Return key to close the tool. We know also from the midpoint upwards, any old length of line will do nicely, and we can offset that line by 1.5 per side. Escape key, we can delete that middle line, we don't need it anymore. In fact, we could do a bit of trimming here. Select those 3 lines. I'll talk about that selection box later on. Return, and I can remove that, and I can remove that one and that one. Return key to close the tool, and now we could get into some polar relative coordinates. We have no idea how long the radius is, so let's just make it long. So thinking about it, that's my start point. Relative at the length of the line, I've no idea. Let's go 50 radius at an angle of 0, 90, 180, 270 and 45 degrees, 315. So at 50 at an angle of 315. Escape. Restart the line tool with the return key. My start point, make sure you're snapping onto the ends, don't draw anywhere in space, make sure you're drawing at the correct point. Relative at 50 long, smaller than symbol for the angle, and I need 45 degrees more than 180, 225. It even looks symmetrical, which is a good sign. I'm going to do my trimming side by side. I won't do all of the trimming at once. So the trim tool, that line and that line need trimming against one another. They're my 2 cutting edges. I want to remove the top piece and the bottom piece. Return key to close the tool, return key to restart it, cutting edge, return key to move on with the tool, always checking the command window, and trim away those two parts of the line, return key. And we zoom out and we have first angle projection, 3 views of the V block. Hopefully you've got something like that, which would be great. Hopefully that's confirmed what you've done. If not, you've used this video as a tutorial almost. I've done nothing but use the line tool. In reality, in the workplace, I'd be making use of this mirror tool at some point, but that can be for another time. Hopefully you've seen the training so far, the training videos so far, polar tracking, incremental relative polar coordinates, and that offset and trim technique is invaluable for this sort of stuff. Really quick, efficient drawing, really. Hope that wasn't too quick for you. Rewatch the video, but yeah, have a good time and have a practice. Yeah, thanks for watching.